Hi everyone, I am Muhammad Yunus and welcome back to the series Building Data Warehouse Step by Step using MSBA technology. In previous video we were speaking about OLTP modeling, that is nothing but 4.1, where we were covering about ERD diagrams and we have drawn conceptual and logical design for one particular requirement. So the next phase of that video is normalizing the tables. So just to reduce the video size I have stopped recording. So let's continue with the same topic 4.1. So here your conceptual design, and once the sign off from client is done, you have created your logical design and you have listed your attributes for each entity. Now it's time to normalize the tables. So what is the purpose of normalization? The whole purpose of normalization is to reduce the redundancy and to make the complete ecosystem efficient for insert, update and delete. So the OLTP system should work efficiently for insertion, updation and deletion. So we spoke about it previously as well in file system databases, where you have file f1 and file f2. So you are maintaining uh, account details in file 1 and general ledger details in file 2. So whenever you do an insert, you should be doing insert in f2 as well. When you are doing update in f1 file 1, when you have you should also do an update on f2, and whenever you are doing a delete on file 1, you have to do an delete on f2 file 2 as well. So you are actually burdening user and also a technical person by means of this database, file system database. So that uh, the next generation databases started addressing these problems by means of the RDBMS rules and normalization techniques. So the whole purpose of normalization is you should be hitting single command to insert, update, delete in multiple tables. So you should not be doing a redundant work for insertion, updation, deletion, and also that will help you to reduce redundancy in terms of data as well. So here you are entering customer details twice. So customer 1, his name and his ID details, and the basic information of customer. Here general ledger details with customer details. That is the problem. So you are maintaining the customer data twice in a single DB, in a single file system DB. So that's actually creating lot of records for a single person. So to avoid that data redundancy or data volume also, your normalization technique will be helpful. So let us start working on normalization technique by means of these columns. I mean, let us normalize the customer table, in other words. So let's hit the ground of normalization. So we have 6 types of normalization, or 6 levels of normalization. So including BCNF, there are 6. So the first normal form states there should be no repeating groups, and attributes must be atomic, and each and every instance record should be uniquely identified. So let's understand this practically. So these are my columns which I have listed for customer table. So the point 1 is there should be no repeating groups. So when I say repeating groups, it's nothing but the array of values. So usually COBOL and the other traditional programming languages supports the insertion of array of values. So those days you were flexible enough to enter values like this. If it is product, milk, toothpaste and brush. So you should not be using this type of entry in your database. I mean the new generation databases. So that's what the first rule of normal form says. So these days we don't enter data in a single column like this, so this is not being supported by the new generation databases. So no repeating group, in the sense there should be no array of values for single column, single cell. So you should avoid this type of entry. The second point of normalization technique, first normal form, says that attributes must be atomic. Atomic in the sense you should not be able to divide further, no division further. So let's walk through each attribute and understand if they are atomic in nature. So customer name is not atomic in nature, because your customer name can be split into customer first name, customer middle name, and customer last name. So now this particular field has achieved the atomic nature, or the first normal form. Let's go with customer type as well. So customer type can be further divided? No. First, customer type will have values like permanent customer, regular visitor, non-regular, first time. These type of values you can enter for customer type field or column name. So for instance, if I say customer type, I can do an entry of permanent, temporary, first time visit, privileged customer. So this type of values you can enter. I mean, you can have n number of rows, you can have millions of rows, but this customer type cannot be further divided as customer some I mean since this is not further dividable, I can't create a new column in the name of customer type, but for the name column I have that privilege. So for instance, if it is customer name, you can make it customer first name, customer last name, and you can do an entry. You can do millions of records of entry. So you should not see things in terms of rows. You can enter Yunus, MD, Hamid, AB. So you can grow your record size in millions and millions records. You can enter the data here, but the columns will remain intact. So once you make things atomic, you need not add further column on same nature of data. So that's what the whole purpose of normalization is. So you can't split customer type further. Can you split gender further? No. Gender will accept two values, male, female, and also special genders, but it cannot be further divided as first gender, last gender, and middle gender. So we can't further divide the gender. Contact, yes, we can divide contact into multiple fields. So some of them I have listed here: email, phone number, and fax. Date of birth, yes, we can divide date of birth into three other fields like date, month, and year, but I don't want that level of granularity as of now for this particular data warehouse. So I'm not dividing, or I'm not splitting further. So let's keep date of birth as it is. Address can be further divided into house number, street, state, country. So this is further dividable. And genre, what type of, if it is a retail store is related to some music company, then there will be genre of music. So you can have values on genre like rap, a remix version, or sad music. So you can have multiple genres as a value, but you can't divide further the genre. So the genre will remain atomic. Preferred channel will still remain atomic, but you can have values like star TV, star movies. So values can be millions, but the atomic value cannot be divided as a separate column. So when I say further divisible, it's not in terms of rows, in terms of columns. So that key point should be in mind. Credit limit cannot be further divided. So these are our new list of columns after normalizing the after completion of second point of first normal form. So the second point states attributes must be atomic, so we have made our fields atomic in nature. Now the question is, third point says each and every instance record must be unique, means the list of fields what you have here should represent individual entity, individual object. So when I say each record should be uniquely identified, whenever you are creating a record in database, you are actually creating an object. So your each row represents an object. For instance, if a new user is registering, his name is David and his address is US, and there is one more guy who is Stephen, and once his registration is successful, a new object is getting created, and there is one more guy, David from US. So are these records representing three different objects? Yes. There is one guy, David, who is from US. There is one more guy, David, from US. But the problem is this data is not uniquely identified. These two records are not getting uniquely identified if data is in this particular format, because the first name, last name and middle name is uh, duplicated. They are similar. So David and David, both Davids are in US, and there are two different records representing same David. So this is a problem if you don't have any a unique identifier. So you can create a unique identifier by combining his phone number and his date of birth. That can be a unique, because one phone number will be assigned to one particular user or one particular customer. So that way you can make a record uniquely identifiable, or you can also give some dummy values. So once you add a new customer, that should be auto incremental. So this is how you can uniquely identify. So the person who is David, who was added in 2016 in our customer database, is having his customer ID as 1, and the person who was added to our customer database in recent past has customer ID as 3. So these both records are being distinguishable based on customer ID. So that's what the third point of normalization techniques is. Each and every instance record should be uniquely identifiable. So I am adding a new dummy key for complete attributes to make sure this is acting as a unique identifier which will be auto incremental in database. So customer ID is fulfilling the third point. So the attributes which are listed here on screen are now in perfectly first normal form. The second normal form states each attribute must be fully and functionally dependent on primary key. So the rule also states, the second normal form rule also states that first normal form should be achieved. So our all records are already in first normal form. Now the job is to implement the second normal form. So unless and until you have not achieved the first normal form, you can't proceed with second normal form. So that is thumb rule. Going further normalization, the next levels, the whole purpose of this, I mean, when I say the data we are converting into third normal form, then that should possess first and second normal form. So similarly, when I am in 5NF, the complete table, customer table, should be in first NF, second NF, third NF, BCNF and 4NF. So this is how the logic works. So I'm trying to convert this first normal form data into second normal form. So how to do that? Based on this rule, each attribute must be fully and functionally dependent on primary key. So how to figure out that? There is a cheat code. I have simplified that with one more statement. So how to achieve that? You just pick your primary key of this particular columns. So customer ID is primary key. Now what you do is you traverse with your primary key throughout the columns, the rest of the columns, and check if the relationship between customer ID and the rest of the columns are one to one relationship with rest of the columns. So let me traverse. Customer ID, one customer will have one first name. That's true. One customer will have one middle name. That's true. One customer will have one last name. That's absolutely true. So this is how actually in real time things works. So one person will have one name in records. He can have nicknames, multiple nicknames based on friend circle, based on family circle, but genuinely when we refer the records, official records of this guy, he'll be having only one first name, one middle name, and one last name. So I have listed those three columns here because they are perfectly in second normal form. Customer type, one customer will have one customer type. Yes, one person can be either frequently visitor, or he can be privileged customer, or he can be uh, you know a new customer. So all these values are one to one mapping values. So we can say one customer will have one customer type. So this is again in second normal form. One customer will have one gender. Sure, that is true. One customer can be either male or female or a special gender. So we can still consider this as second normal form. One person will have one email ID. No, one person can have multiple email IDs. He can have personal email ID, he can have official email ID. So we can uh, we can not say that one person will have one customer will have one email ID. So this is not in second normal form. So I have listed here, you can see one customer will have one phone number. No, he can have landline number, and he can have mobile number, he can have official number. So his phone directory, I mean phone numbers, can vary in terms of count. So one customer may have multiple numbers. So I am not considering this column as second normal form. One person have one fax. So it's not necessary one person will have one fax. So he can have a fax at his home, a fax at his office, a fax at his business center. So it depends. So I'm not considering fax as well, second normal form. Date of birth, one customer ID will have one date of birth. That's absolutely true. A person cannot take birth twice. One customer will have one house number. Not necessary. Not necessary, because I can have two houses and two addresses. So it's not necessary that one customer will have one house number, or one street, or one state, or one country, because I can move from India to US, US to Australia. So it's not necessary that one customer will have one house address and one street and one state, one country. So this is not a second normal form. So I am eliminating them. One customer will have one genre as as a priority. No, not necessary, because I may love rap music, and also I can love sad song, and also I can like only musics, no songs, no lyrics. So my choices may vary from time to time. So genre, again, it's not one to one. One customer ID will have one preferred channel. No, no, he can have multiple preferred channels. I can watch HBO, and I can watch Star movies, and also I can watch some cricket channel. So depends, sports channel depends. So not necessary. One person, one customer ID will have one credit limit. Yes. So if I am a regular customer, then company may provide me uh, at least of $100 of credit limit. So if I go and shop, they will still allow me for a certain threshold level for credit purpose, which I can pay back them in next visit, or they can charge me based on EMI. So there are certain limits which they can set on a single customer. So one customer can have only single credit limit. That makes sense. So I am still considering this as second normal form. So this is perfectly second normal form data. These particular tables, all these columns are in second normal form. We have chopped out few other columns which are not in second normal form. Let's keep them aside. I'll I'll explain you going forward when we move ahead with other normal forms. You will realize how these particular things we can arrange, so that thing will be covered in due course. So let's move ahead with third normal form. So as of now we have achieved second normal form for only these columns. So these 8 columns are in second normal form. The other are outside this table, customer table. So keep this thing in mind as of now. The next level is third normal form. So the rule is the data or the list of columns should qualify first normal form and second normal form. So this is the basic rule. And the third point about third normal form is other than primary key attributes should not be dependent on other attributes. So apart from primary key, the attributes should not be dependent on other attributes. That means all these attributes should be dependent on only customer ID, fully dependent on customer ID. It should not depend on any other attribute. So we can traverse, just ignore customer ID. So I have written the rule here, just a cheat code. Ignore customer ID and pick each attribute and traverse and check if any attribute is dependent on other attribute besides primary key. So let me pick customer first name and traverse throughout the records and see if any record is getting dependent on customer first name, and similarly middle name, last name. So we'll pick each attribute and traverse throughout the records to make sure the other attributes are not getting dependent on there is no interdependency besides the customer ID. So let's start with customer first name. Customer first name qualifies customer middle name? No, not necessary. So if my name is, my full name is so it's not necessary. If my first name is Muhammad, then my middle name should be Yunus. It's not necessary. Any person's first name will not decide what should be the second name. So for instance, if someone has his first name as Shah, then it's not necessary that his name, say middle name, should be Ruh and third name should be Khan. It can be different. It can be Shah Azam Kareem. So his name can differ. You can't set rule for a first name, right? Like if you have Johnny as first name, it's not necessary his last name or middle name should be Depp. It's not necessary. He can be Johnny Lawrence. It's not necessary that he should be his second name or last name should be dependent on first name. So your parents will not decide the middle name and last name based on first name. So it is all on your wish. So the first name is not driving your second name and last name. So we can say that your customer first name is in perfectly third normal form. Yeah, here I'm listing. Customer middle name is also not driving the rest of the columns. Can customer middle name If someone's customer middle name is David, will that affect his last name? Will that affect his customer type? Can a person with David becomes a privileged customer? No, not necessary. Can a person with David becomes every time, I mean, though he's a frequent visitor, can we convert his visit as first time visit every time, though he is visiting 100 times, you are still considering him as one time visitor? No, you don't do that. So the name is not qualifying the um, what you say, the rest of the, I mean, it's not getting dependent on different columns, so other attributes are not dependent on middle name, so we can still consider middle name as the third normal form. Similarly, last name. Coming to customer type, can your customer type qualify your first name? No, it's not necessary, it is independent thing. So if you are permanent customer, it's not necessary your name is David. If you are single visit customer, your name should not be Donald Trump, right? So your name can vary irrespective of your nature of being customer. So if you are a permanent or temporary customer, that has nothing to do with qualifying your name, nor gender, nor date of birth, nor credit limit. Gender, is your gender qualifying your name? It's not necessary. I mean, it's not necessary that a particular gender should be of same name. Sometimes what happens is you have similar names. I mean, based on gender you can't define your um, namings. It actually, it's more like your names are genuinely dependent on genders. That's realistic, but that will not qualify, or that will not make you dependent on gender. So I'll explain you the other fields, maybe you can make out of that. So date of birth, is it, it's not necessary that a male gender has only 1980s as a date of birth. So it can not be, the gender cannot be dependent on a date of birth, or date of birth is not dependent on gender. Credit limit is not dependent on gender because it depends on your earnings and the frequency of you visit your store. So that way, even gender I am considering as third normal form. Date of birth, yes, it's again not, uh, no other attributes are dependent on date of birth. Credit limit, yes, credit limit is something which has dependency with the type of customer you are. If you are permanent customer, your credit limit will be more. If you are a one time visitor, you will have no credit limit. So that's why what I'm doing is I'm removing this particular attribute from the list of the column. So here I am placing it, credit limit table. In this way, what we have achieved is we have achieved 7 records which are perfectly in third normal form, and there are other records which are moved out of this third normal form table. So now one thing I would like to mention here which is worth noting is, usually organization prefers third normal form and they consider third normal form as an efficient normal form. We can further go with fourth, fifth, and four BCNF fourth and fifth normal form, but it's not necessary. They are like add-ons. By achieving third normal form, you are actually minimizing your redundancy. Most of the redundancy is being reduced in third normal form. When I say minimizing redundancy, we are only reducing redundancy. We can't absolutely make redundancy to 0. So there is no provision in database where you can make complete redundancy to 0. There will be still redundancy, but the point is how much level of redundancy you are reducing is being actually which is being actually matters. So third normal form is usually considered as one of the best normal form where you can avoid lot of redundancy. That's why you also called you also call OLTP modeling as 3NF usually, because third normal form is considered as a perfect normal form, where the most of the redundancy is reduced. So the question is, what should we be doing with other tables which are extracted in second and first normal form? So those things I am considering as a different tables. So address, I have placed in address table, house number, street, state, country. Contact, email, phone, fax I am placing in other table. Credit limit I am placing in different table. So I'll be linking these tables with some key columns. So that way you will be inserting a single insert. I mean, you'll be having a single insert where you will be having a foreign key relationship with other tables, and inserting in single command you will be inserting the data into database. And when you are deleting the data, you can't delete data directly from primary key table, because immediately you will receive an error message stating foreign key violation error. So you should write your delete command in such a way that the single delete command should delete data of that particular entity throughout the records. So that's how normalization is helping you. Single insert in different tables and single delete from all tables. So that way normalization will help you in reducing your effort in managing or inserting, updating, delete data. So this is third normal form, which is actually considered as a perfect normal form. Let's also go to BCNF and understand what is BCNF, 4NF and 5NF. So I'll give an introduction of this. You can make out that how important it is in terms of normalization, so you will get an idea. So BCNF says this scenario comes when you have a composite key. So the question is, my third normal form data doesn't have any composite key. Can you see? I have customer ID. I have mentioned in 1NF that each and every instant record should be uniquely identifiable, but it's not necessary that you have a dummy column for making a unique identifier. You can also have a phone number and date of birth combination, so which will form at least a unique combination, which will create a unique identifier, because phone number will be unique and date of birth may be redundant. So but one date of birth is not necessary that if you have millions of customers, every customer will have same date of birth. That's not necessary. So that way at least you can have a unique combination with phone number and date of birth. So if you have such scenario, then BCNF normalization will be technique will be applicable. As of now, my customer table have only customer ID, so BCNF is not applicable. So my this particular rows columns which I have extracted based on requirement and normalizing the 7 records what I got, sorry 7 columns which I have achieved till third normal form, this can't undergo with BCNF. So I have mentioned the same point. Customer ID is dummy key. If you form a key based on combination of columns like name, date of birth and phone, nothing but composite key, then you will get that when your BCNF technique will be applicable. The next level of normalization is 4NF. So usually 4NF is applicable for those columns which has only list of values. So 4NF, list of values based on attributes are defined as separate entity. So in this normal form, what we do is, for instance, you have gender. Gender will have male or female as value. Coming to country, you'll have India, Australia, United States. So the columns which has predefined list of values, such columns should be separated from the base table, I mean normalized table, and those should be placed in a different table. Now According to fourth normal form, gender should be a separate table and country should be separate table. That's what fourth normal form demands. So you should place all those columns which are having list of values as a data. So those columns should be separated as a table. So that's what the fourth normal form demands. That's pretty simple. So you can have ticket status. Ticket status is confirm, not confirm, cancel. So this can be your list of values. Coming to customer name, you can't have a list of values for customer name. There are millions of customers, and millions of customers will have millions of names. So that cannot come under category of list of names, list of values. So list of values are nothing but the list which is predefined. So countries list is predefined. You can add a new country once in a while. Gender list is predefined. So that way, all those columns which has predefined values, list of predefined values, that will go under a new table. That's what fourth normal form states. So we will be removing gender from this particular table and will be separating into a different table. So you ultimately what happens is, after reaching fourth normal form, my list of columns will be these. My base table will remain like this, like I'll have 6 columns in my base table, and gender will be in separate table when I reach to 4 normal form. So what is fifth normal form? Fifth normal form is all those attributes which are derived attributes should go into a separate table. So for instance, I am calculating my experience, so it comes under date of joining minus last date of working. So this will deduce my experience. So for deriving experience, I am using 2 columns. So this nature of values which are getting inserted in database, I mean the columns which are dependent on derivation of columns, will go into a different table. I hope I am making sense. For instance, if I have employee table, I'll have date of joining and date of uh, resignation and total experience. So experience, when I am inserting date of joining and date of resignation, 31st May, July 28. So when I'm calculating, this experience, I will be taking difference of these 2 columns. So such columns, nothing but experience column, should not remain with base table column. It should go out of this table and have a separate table as experience. So this is what the fifth normal form states. So derived attribute should go to a new entity. So new entity will be experience table. So that's what the whole normalization technique is all about. So we are actually trying to reduce the redundancy, reduce the effort of insert, update, deletes, and make data consistent across the tables. So that is being achieved through the keys which we are establishing between the tables. So the last note which I would like to mention before concluding this video is, we can't reduce redundancy to 0. We can only minimize the redundancy. We can't reduce the redundancy completely. So to justify this statement, I'll have this. So when I'm entering customer ID 1, Yunus, customer type permanent, date of birth 31st May. Now second data I am entering, his name is Hamid, he is also permanent customer, and his date of birth is 25th June. Now you can see one thing here. Despite my tables are normalized, still the value permanent temporary is still there in your table. There can be one more user, Yunus temporary 31st May. So there is a Yunus here and there is a Yunus here as well. Both are uniquely identifiable and both are different records, but still there is a data redundancy. There are still duplicate records. The both are different names. So what we are doing, we are actually reducing redundancy. We can't reduce redundancy to zero. You have permanent and permanent two values. You can't eliminate these values from your table. You can only reduce the minimum. You can only reduce the redundancy, or you can just minimize the redundancy. You can't completely eliminate redundancy. That's what the whole gist I want to say in single statement is. We can't reduce redundancy to zero. We can only minimize it. So this is a case study which we were implementing in terms of requirement ERD diagram normalization till 5NF. So once the data is in 3NF, usually what we do is we write the script, create table, table name, customer table, and provide those fields, and add this foreign key relationship with address, contact, and credit table, and create a script and provide that to, architect will create that script and run that script on our database to create the tables. So this is where your physical design will be ready. So once physical design is ready, the script will be executed on database, and that will create your table structures, and that once that is done, the next level of creating applications will start. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm done with this video of OLTP modeling. So this is how we organize our tables. Right now I'll mark this video as completed. So we'll continue with dimensional modeling in next video. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.